Hello students and welcome to one more learning experience. Today we are going to do grammar topic subject verb agreement. So when we talk of sentences, there must be an agreement between different parts of a sentence, especially the subject and the verb. So like I have told you, there must be one agreement between subject and verb. So every sentence says something about a person or thing. A part of a sentence that names the person or thing is called the subject, and the part which gives us information about the subject is called the predicate. The subject of a sentence thus has a close relation to what is being said in the predicate. The form of the verb should be in direct relation to the number and person of the subject. Suppose I, you, we, they. So we would apply, along with I, we apply am. Okay, with you, we, they, we apply are. He, she, it carries is. So same, if we are applying do, okay, so I, you, we, they, so we would apply do. He, she, it, we would apply does. So same in this case. So these are the singular and plural verb. You have already done this. Let's understand it thoroughly now. Where you have to apply have along with I, you, we, they, and then he, she, it. With this we would apply has. Fine. And verb simple form, like verb first form without s or es, we would apply along with I, you, we, they, which is plural, and he, she, it. We would include verb plus s or es. So what are the objectives of these? So objectives are to show understanding on the rules of subject and verb agreement, to apply the rules in constructing sentences, or to write essays observing the correct agreement between the subject and the verb. So let us understand the rules of subject verb agreement. Being able to find the right subject and a verb will help you correct errors of subject verb agreement. So basic rule is a singular subject like she or any name or any object name takes a singular verb. Okay, like is, goes, shines, like this. So whereas a plural subject takes a plural verb, which I have told you earlier in the chart. So there is one example for you. The list of items is on the desk. Why? Because here we are talking about the list, not the items. So that's why it is. If you know that list is the subject, then you will choose is for the verb. Then rule starts from a subject will come before a phrase beginning with of. This is a key rule for understanding subjects. The word of is the culprit in many, perhaps most subject verb mistakes. Hastily, writers, speakers, readers and listeners might miss the all too common mistakes in the following sentences. So incorrect sentence I am giving you here. A bouquet of yellow roses lend color and fragrance to the room. So this is a common mistake. Here incorrect sentence is a bouquet of yellow roses lend color and fragrance to the room. So we are just looking at the bouquet. Okay, a bouquet, this is the subject. A bouquet of yellow roses lends. So bouquet lends, not roses lend. So this is how we can find the subject verb mistakes. Let's move to the next rule. So two singular subjects connected by or, either or neither nor require a single verb only. Like my aunt or my uncle is arriving by train today. Neither John nor Carmen is available. Either Kiana or Cassie is helping today with stage decorations. So you have noticed that if we are using or, either or neither nor, then we need to apply only singular verb. Then the verb rule number 3 is the verb is an or, either or neither nor sentence agrees with the noun or pronoun closest to it. Fine. So how we can find the noun and pronoun closest to the verb? Neither the plates nor the serving bowl goes on that shelf. So serving bowl. So we are considering bowls. Okay. Neither the serving bowl nor the plates go. Now plates, I have replaced the plates instead of bowl. So I would just look into the verb which is close to the noun. Okay, that is close. Earlier plates was far and now I have placed it near to the verb. So in this way I would consider plates. Earlier sentence I have considered bowl. So this rule can lead to bumps in the road. For example, if is one of two or more subject, it could lead to this odd sentence like neither she, my friends, nor I am going to the festival. So this is awkward sentence. Yet we have considered I here. Fine. So I am. We have applied am. So if possible, it's best to reward such grammatical correct but awkward sentences. So there are two more awkward sentences. Neither she, I, nor my friends are going to the festivals. Or you can write she, my friend, and I are not going to the festivals. So in this way, we can arrange our subject-verb agreement. Rule number 4 says, as a general rule, use a plural verb with two or more subjects when they are connected by, like example is a car and a bike are my means of transportation. So this is a general rule. Understand it? So we need to use the plural verb. Fine. Two or more subjects are there. So we would count it as connected. So but there are exceptions as well. So what are the exceptions? Breaking and entering is against the law. So here we won't count it connected. Okay, breaking and entering, these are counted as singular. But earlier we have counted as plural subjects, car and bike. The bed and breakfast was charming. So bed and breakfast was charming. Here we are counting is as one noun. Okay, singular noun. So in those sentences, breaking and entering and bed and breakfast are common or compound noun. That's why we have applied only singular subject verb agreement. So let's come to next rule. It says sometimes the subject is separated from the verb by such words as along with, as well as, besides, not, etc. These words and phrases are not part of the subject. Ignore them and use a singular verb when the subject is singular. So here is one example for you. The politician along with the newsman is expected shortly. Fine. So these words and phrases are not part of the subject. So we have to ignore. That's why we have only considered politician. Okay. Because as I have told you, we have to ignore if these are attached with these phrases. Then next is one more is there for you. Excitement as well as nervousness is the cause of her shaking. So we have considered only excitement. Okay, we have ignored because this is after as well as, that's why we have ignored it. Fine. So we won't count the words which are in bracket. Okay, so this is also one rule, that parentheses are not a part of the subject, like Joe, and then we are putting the brackets there. So and his trusty mutt. So these we won't count as subject. We would only count Joe. Okay, so that's why we have applied Joe was always welcome. So if it seems awkward to you, you can rewrite it. Then rule number 6 says in sentences beginning with here or there, the true subject follows the verb. Okay, so what it says, the true subject follows the verb. So let's understand with the examples. There are 4 hurdles to jump. There are 4 hurdles to jump. There is a high hurdle to jump. Here are the keys. So in this, when the sentence is beginning with here or there, the true subject follows the verb. Okay, so we would just see subject which would come after subject verb agreement, that is helping verb. Now rule number 7 says use a singular verb with distances, periods of time, sums of money, etc. when considered as a unit. Okay, so these are considered as a unit. 3 miles, although it is written 3 miles, but we would count as a unit. 3 miles is too far to walk. So we have applied is. Again understand, use a singular verb. Remember this. Okay, when measuring the distances, period of time, sums of money, etc. 5 years is maximum sentence for that offense. Here sentence means the punishment. $10 is a high price to pay. So we are considering $10 as a unit. Okay, but $10, that is the dollar bills, were scattered on the floor. So $10 were scattered on the floor. If it is, we are talking about the bills. Fine. So rule number 8 says with words that indicate portions, for example, a lot, a majority, some, all. Okay, so rule number 1 is given earlier in this section, then we have to reverse it, and we are guided by the noun after of, which we have already talked in rule number 1. If the noun after of is singular, use a singular verb. If it is plural, use a plural verb. That's simple. So like a lot of the pie has, so a lot of pie. So here we are just indicating the portions. A lot of pie has disappeared, a lot of pies have disappeared, a third of the city is unemployed, a third of the people are unemployed, all of the pie is gone, all of the pies are gone, some of the pie is missing, some of the pies are missing. So we have to just again focus on the real subject. So now let's move to rule number 9. With collective nouns such as group, jury, family, audience, population, the verb might be singular or plural depending on the writer's intent. So here are the examples. All of my family has arrived. All of my family has. So family here singular, has arrived, or you can also write have arrived. Most of the jury is here or are here. So we would just, depending on the intentions, then we would just make it agrees to the subject. So we can count as collective nouns as well, and we can count as singular and plural, both in ways. A third of the population was opposed, or you can say a third of the population were opposed to the bill. So note down, anyone who uses a plural verb with a collective noun must take care of the accurate and also consistent. It must not be done carelessly. The following is the sort of flawed sentences one sees and hears a lot these days. Like the staff is deciding how they want to vote. Careful speakers and writers would avoid assigning the singular is and the plural they to staff in the same sentence. So what would be the staff are deciding how they want to vote. So this is the correct formation. Now comes to rule number 10, the word where we are replacing were. okay, or was in sentences that expresses a wish or are contrary to facts. Like, if Joe were here, you would be sorry. Okay, shouldn't Joe be followed by was, not were? So given that Joe is singular, but Joe isn't. So rule number 10 says the word were replaces was in sentences that express a wish or are contrary to fact. So if Joe were here, you would be sorry. So Joe is singular, yet were is used. How? Shouldn't Joe be followed by was, not were, given that Joe is singular? But Joe isn't actually here. So we say were, not was. The sentence demonstrates the subjunctive mood, which is used to express things that are hypothetical, wishful, imaginary, or factual, contradictory. The subjunctive mood pairs singular subjects with what we usually think of as plural verbs. So here are more examples for you. I wish it were Friday, not it was Friday. Fine, because we are wishing. She requested that he raise his hand. He raises his hand. He raised his hands. Why? Because requested. In the first example, wishful statement is there, and next, so there we have used raises. Fine. So here, not a fact is being expressed, therefore were, which we usually think of as a plural verb, is used with the singular. That is, technically it is the singular subject of the object clause in the subjunctive mood. So it were Friday. Normally, he raised would sound terrible to us. However, the second example here express the same. Again, subjunctive mood. That is why it is correct. So, let's make a quick recap. So, we have done that if the subject is singular, the verb must be singular. Fine. If the subject is plural, the verb must be plural. The number of the subject is not changed by the words that come between the subject and the verb. So I hope this topic is clear to all. Thank you.